Hey VC, it's Trevor back with another Flat Round and Spun, here to do a show and tell video. This was inspired by Dylan at the Record Spinner. If you're unfamiliar with Dylan, he's got a great channel. He's a younger guy, early mid-20s maybe, and he's a major Kiss fan and loves a lot of classic rock too. So it's one of those things that I just find really cool when these young people get into the same music that I grew up in. I think I have like 30 years on them. So anyway, this was inspired by not a video he posted, but a photo he put on his Instagram about a month ago of him getting an OG copy of Alive 2 signed by Ace Frehley, which is awesome. And then he also got one of Gene's books autographed by Gene. So that got me thinking, like, oh, I have some Kiss autograph stuff too. Let me show that off. So the first one I got back in 1990, March of 1990. Ace Frehley was in the Detroit area doing a show that night at the Ritz. This was during the Trouble Walking tour. And he did an in-store at, I want to say the place was called Sound Warehouse at the time. So as we do, we all stand in line and wait to meet him. The band was also there too, but no one got their autographs, it seems like, unless they got like the Frehley's comment. But I brought my Kiss Ace Frehley solo album, and he signed it to me. So I guess unless another Trevor's out there that steals this, it's worthless to anyone else. So anyway, there's that one. I've met Ace twice at things like this, and he always has the aura of that's the last place he wants to be at. So one of those, don't meet your heroes things. Most of the time it's cool, but this was one of those times where it's just like, yeah, it was quite disappointing, but glad I got the autograph. Fast forward a few months later, October 14th specifically of 1990. I don't know, it's probably about 11 o'clock in the morning. I shoot over to my best friend's house because that's our day to just hang out and just do dumb stuff. And we realized that Kiss is playing in town that night, and we had just recently gotten back into Kiss. During the 80s, we were not into them at all. But we were kind of going with the flashback of the old stuff. So we decided that, let's go see if there's tickets left. Let's just go. So went to the mall, went to the Ticketmaster, and got nosebleed seats at, towards the top at the end. But it's a big Kiss show, so it doesn't really matter. They got the video screens anyway. The cool part is that specific show is on, I believe, Volume 2 of Kissology, the DVD set. So, and it's also on YouTube. In fact, I'll link it in the description, the video for that. So, as you can tell, this is the 4th of July, and there's stuff blowing up. It kind of goes well with the Kiss theme. So, for some reason, we swung by my house and grabbed a couple of my records because we knew where they were staying at, in a hotel in Troy, Michigan. Home of Stillwater, if you're an Almost Famous fan. So we get there, and just so happens the bus is there and the band is outside, except for Eric Carr, because we saw he was going to take a taxi up to the Palace of Auburn Hills, and it broke down, so some fans took him up to the palace. And we're like, if we were there like a half hour earlier, we could have taken Eric Carr to the show. But anyway, we did get Paul and Gene's autograph. So I got my solo album of Paul, and got Gene's right there. And they're actually quite nice. It was funny, my friend likes to babble on, kind of like I do, but he really gets into his conversations, and Gene was kind of not having it anymore. He's got his sunglasses on, and he just kind of leans into him and goes, shh. And my friend just cowers. It was hilarious. So we go to the show that night, and as you'll see in the video, it's an awesome show. And then about 4 years later, there was a thing called the first annual Detroit Kiss Convention. This was not the Kiss sanctioned one. That was the following year. This was what would later become the Kiss Expo, but it was the first one. I actually still have the t-shirt to it right there, and it shows all the dates up until that point of when Kiss played Detroit. So that's kind of cool. So pack rat. So on that day, scheduled to be there was Peter Criss, so I was able to complete the circle. Unfortunately, he was using a black Sharpie, so you could barely see that he signed this, but I do have all 4 original members. Now, the extra cool thing that was actually even cooler than getting Peter's autograph was during this convention, there was they had advertised that there was going to be original Kiss costumes on display. So they did have it in the ballroom lobby area, kind of tabled off all these props, guitars, and costumes. And I went by myself, but I'm talking to people there and just saying, hey, isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? Well, down the hall we hear all this commotion happening, and the commotion's getting louder and louder and coming towards us. Paul and Gene show up unexpectedly and get behind the tables, and they start grabbing all their stuff because apparently these were stolen goods and they were just retrieving them. And it was amazing to just be feet away from the guys. And so I'm talking to this guy next to me. I'm like, you know what? These guys aren't going to just leave with this stuff. We should go in the ballroom, get close up to the stage, because they'll probably just do a Q&A, in which they did. So they came up on stage, and yeah, they did probably about a good half hour of a Q&A. So in that day, I had 3/4 of original Kiss at this Kiss Expo, or Kiss Convention at the time. So it was just a great day being an old school Kiss fan, and being too young to see him back in the heyday of the phenomenon known as Kiss at the time. So it was just an amazing day. So there's actually video of that, and I will link that in the description too. So anyway, thanks Dylan for the inspiration. I'll leave Dylan's information also in the description. So that's my show and tell for today, and we'll talk to you later. See ya!